"Are you having an affair with Chief Williams?" Pius accused her, his eyes filled with suspicion. Ada was taken aback. "No, Pius," she defended herself. "He's just nice, and even if I were having an affair with him, it's none of your business." Pius' face darkened with anger. "We are together, Ada," he insisted. Ada shook her head, feeling a surge of frustration. "No, Pius, we are not." Ada stood at the village bus stop, clutching her small bag of belongings. Her mother and her younger sister Chika stood beside her, tears in their eyes. The early morning sun casted a soft glow over the dusty road, and the sounds of roosters crowing and children playing in the distance filled the air. "Take care of yourself, Ada," her mother said, her voice trembling. She adjusted Ada's headscarf, trying to keep her composure. "Remember to call us as soon as you get there." "I will, Mama," Ada promised, hugging her mother tightly. She could feel the warmth of her mother's embrace, a mixture of love and worry. "I will send money home as soon as I can find a job," Ada said. Chika, her younger sister, clung to her side, her eyes wide and filled with sadness. "Ada, I will miss you. Please come back soon." Ada smiled, fighting back her own tears. She didn't want to show her family how scared she was. "I will miss you too, Chika. Be good for Mama." The bus arrived, its engine rumbling loudly as it pulled to a stop. The driver, a burly man with a kind face, helped Ada with her bag. She turned to wave goodbye to her family one last time. Her mother's eyes were red, and Chika was sniffling, wiping her nose with the back of her hand. As the bus started moving, Ada found a seat by the window. She looked out, watching her village slowly fade into the distance. The familiar thatch roof and narrow path that she had known all her life became smaller and smaller until they disappeared completely. The journey ahead was uncertain, but Ada knew she had to be strong. She had dreams of a better life, and Lagos was her chance to make those dreams come true. The bus was crowded with other travelers, each lost in their own thoughts. Some were dozing off, while others chatted quietly. Ada's mind wandered to the stories she had heard about the city, the many opportunities, the bright light and the endless hustle and bustle. But she also remembered the warnings about the dangers and the challenges she would face. The landscape was changing from the familiar greenery of her village to the more urban scenery. The roads became wider and the houses turned into buildings. The bus made several stops, picking up more passengers along the way. Each stop brought her closer to her destination, and Ada's heart raced with a mix of excitement and anxiety. Ada tried to relax, leaning her head against the window. She thought about the future she wanted. She wanted a good job, a comfortable home, and enough money to support her family. Her friend Pius had assured her that he would help her settle in, and for that she was very grateful. Ada arrived in the bustling city of Lagos, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and anxiety. The noise of honking cars, the chatter of street vendors, and the throngs of people moving about were very overwhelming. She clutched her bag tightly and found a quiet corner to make a call. "Hello, Pius," Ada greeted him on the phone. "I've arrived Lagos," she said. "Welcome, Ada," Pius replied warmly. Ada could hear the relief in his voice. "I will send you the directions via a text message. Please follow it carefully." Pius' directions were clear, and Ada boarded a yellow Danfo bus, navigating through the city's busy streets. The journey seemed to take forever, but she finally reached Pius' neighborhood. It was a lively area with small shops lining the streets and children playing outside. She could see the towering buildings in the distance, a stark contrast to her village. Ada walked into the gate of a modest apartment building and knocked. The gatekeeper, A man with a friendly smile let her in after she mentioned Pius's name. She made her way to Pius' apartment, feeling a sense of relief wash over her when she saw his familiar face. "Ada," Pius exclaimed, pulling her into a warm hug. "It's so good to see you again after many years." "It's good to see you too, Pius," Ada said, smiling. She felt a wave of comfort in his presence. Pius showed her to the guest room, a small but cozy space with a bed and wardrobe. "This will be your room," he said. "Make yourself at home." "Thank you, Pius," Ada said gratefully, placing her bag on the bed. She looked around, taking in her new surroundings. It wasn't much, but it was a start, a beautiful one. "Are you hungry?" Pius asked. "I can make us something to eat." "Yes, please," Ada replied. She realized she hadn't eaten since she left the village. Pius prepared a simple meal of rice and stew, and they sat down together to eat. As they ate, Pius asked about her journey and how things were back at home. Ada told him about her mother and Chika and how she hoped to send them money back to support them. "I will start to look for a job right away," Ada said, determination in her voice. "Take your time," Pius assured her. "You can stay here as long as you need." Over the next few days, Ada settled into a routine. She woke up early, helped Pius with the house chores, and then set out to look for a job. She visited numerous offices, handed out her CVs, and filled out application forms. Each evening, she returned to Pius's apartment exhausted but very hopeful. Pius was always there to encourage her. "Don't worry, Ada, something will definitely come up," he would say. Ada appreciated his support but felt a growing sense of frustration. The city was big and opportunities were few. One evening, as they sat on the balcony, Ada voiced her concerns. "What if I don't find a job soon?" she asked, staring out at the city lights. "You will," Pius said confidently. "Just keep trying. The right opportunity will definitely come." Ada nodded, feeling a bit more reassured. She knew she couldn't give up. She had come too far to turn back now. Even though Ada was grateful for Pius's generosity and patience, she knew she couldn't rely on him forever. Ada spent her days searching for jobs, but opportunities were so scarce. Every morning she woke up early, dressed neatly, and set out with a folder full of her credentials. She visited more offices, more shops, and even more factories, but each day ended with the same disappointing result. "We are not hiring at the moment. Drop your CV, we will let you know if we need someone." The city was large and intimidating, with its endless sea of people and towering buildings. Ada walked through the bustling streets, feeling smaller with each rejection. She often found herself wondering if she had made the right decision by coming to Lagos. One evening, after another fruitless day of job hunting, Ada returned to Pius's apartment, exhausted and disheartened. Pius noticed her dejection and tried to cheer her up. "Here, Ada, take this," he said, handing her some money. Ada shook her head. "I don't want to be a burden, Pius." "You are not a burden," Pius insisted. "We are friends. Let me help you. Remember we go way back in the village." Ada nodded. She reluctantly accepted the money, but she couldn't shake off the feeling of dependency. She wanted to earn her own way and not rely on Pius's generosity. However, she was grateful for his support and his kindness. As the days turned into weeks, their friendship soon grew into something more. Pius was always there for her, offering encouragement and a listening ear. Ada felt indebted to Pius, and one evening, their closeness led to intimacy. At first, Ada was hesitant, unsure if it was the right thing to do. "Pius, what are we?" she asked one night, lying next to him. "Well, we are just seeing how it goes," Pius replied casually, avoiding a direct answer. Though their relationship was undefined, Ada found herself caring deeply for him. She continued to take care of the household chores, including Pius's laundry, cooking, and cleaning. It was her way of showing appreciation for everything he had done for her. Despite the undefined nature of their relationship, Ada couldn't help but hope for more. She wanted clarity, but each time she broached the subject, Pius would sidestep the conversation. This left her feeling confused and uncertain about their future together. Ada's search for job continued, but each rejection chipped away at her confidence. She began to question her worth and her abilities. One afternoon, she called her mother to give an update. "Mama, I'm trying my best, but it's so hard," Ada said, her voice trembling with frustration. "Don't give up, my daughter," her mother encouraged. "We believe in you. Keep praying and keep trying." Her mother's words gave Ada a renewed sense of determination. She wiped her tears and decided to keep pushing forward. She knew she couldn't let her family down, especially not at this time. One day, while Ada was on her way to the market, she carefully navigated the busy street, trying to avoid the puddles left by the recent rain. She had a list of items she needed to buy for dinner, and she was deep in thought when suddenly a speeding car raced by, splashing dirty water all over her. Her dress was soaked, and she felt a mix of shock and anger. Furious, she turned to see a sleek black car coming to a halt. The door opened and a well-dressed man stepped out. He looked genuinely concerned as he approached her. "I'm so sorry," the man apologized, his hands raised in a gesture of sincerity. "I didn't see the puddle." Ada glared at him, her face flushed with irritation. "You should be more careful," she snapped, trying to shake off the water from her dress. The man's sincere expression softened her anger slightly. "It's okay," she said, realizing that he didn't mean any harm. "Here is my card," the man said, reaching into his pocket and handing her a business card. "I am Chief Williams. Call me and I'll make it up to you." Ada took the card reluctantly, looking at it for a moment before slipping it into her bag. She watched as Chief Williams got back into his car and drove away. Her dress was still wet, but the unexpected encounter had left her curious about the man who had just apologized so earnestly. At the market, Ada couldn't stop thinking about Chief Williams. She wondered what kind of person he was and why he had offered to make it up to her. The city was full of surprises, and this chance encounter was certainly one of them. When she returned back to Pius's apartment, Ada changed out of her wet clothes and decided to tell Pius about the incident. "Guess what happened to me today?" she began as they sat down for dinner. "What?" Pius asked, looking up from his plate. "A car splashed water all over me," Ada said, shaking her head, "and the driver turned out to be some important man named Chief Williams. He gave me his card and said to call him." Pius raised an eyebrow. "Chief Williams? That's interesting. Are you going to call him?" "I don't know," Ada replied, unsure. "I'm not sure what to expect." "You should," Pius encouraged. "It might lead to something good." Ada nodded, considering his advice. She decided to keep the card and think about it for a while. Days went by and Ada continued her job search, but Chief Williams' card stayed on her mind. One evening, after another long day of searching, she finally picked up the card and dialed the number. "Hello, Chief Williams. This is Ada, the lady you splashed water on the other day." "Ah, Ada," Chief Williams' voice was warm and welcoming. "I've been expecting your call. How are you?" "I'm fine, thank you, sir," Ada replied. "I just wanted to see if you still meant what you said about making it up to me." "Of course," Chief Williams said. "How about we meet tomorrow? I have a proposition for you." Ada agreed, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. She hung up the phone, wondering what tomorrow would bring. The next day, Ada dressed carefully, choosing an outfit that was both professional and comfortable. She made her way to the address Chief Williams had given her, a large office building in the heart of the city. When she arrived, the receptionist greeted her and directed her to Chief Williams' office. Ada took a deep breath and knocked on the door. "Come in," a voice called from inside. Ada entered the office and Chief Williams stood up to greet her. "Ada, it's good to see you," he said, extending his hand. "It's good to see you, sir," Ada replied, shaking his hand. "Please have a seat," he gestured to a chair. "I'm glad you called. So what do you do?" Ada explained her journey from the village and how she's been looking for a job. Then Chief Williams said he has a proposition that might interest her. Ada's curiosity piqued. She listened intently as Chief Williams began to explain the job he had in mind for her. He then offered her a job at his company. The position was an administrative assistant, a role that suited her skills perfectly. Excited, she accepted the offer, feeling a sense of hope and anticipation for the first time in many weeks. On her first day at the office, Chief Williams introduced her to the team and showed her around. The office was modern and bustling with activity, a stark contrast to the quiet life she had known in the village. Ada felt a rush of excitement as she settled into her new workspace. As the days turned into weeks, Ada quickly adapted to her new role. She worked diligently, handling tasks with precision and care. Chief Williams was impressed by her work ethic and often praised her efforts, which boosted her confidence. One evening, when Ada returned to Pius's apartment, she shared the news of her new job. Pius' reaction was far from what she had expected. "Are you having an affair with Chief Williams?" Pius accused her, his eyes filled with suspicion. Ada was taken aback. "No, Pius," she defended herself. "He's just nice, and even if I were having an affair with him, it's none of your business." Pius' face darkened with anger. "We are together, Ada," he insisted. Ada shook her head, feeling a surge of frustration. "No, Pius, we are not," she replied. "You never defined our relationship, even when I asked you several times." Pius' accusations didn't stop. He became more controlling and abusive as time went on. He would frequently humiliate her, calling her names and accusing her of cheating with Chief Williams. One night, after a particularly heated argument, Ada sat in her room, tears streaming down her face. She knew she couldn't continue living like this. The constant abuse and lack of respect were taking a toll on her. Determined to change her situation, she started saving money to move out. She opened a small savings account and deposited a portion of her salary every month. Her goal was to find a place of her own where she could live without fear and control. Pius's behavior grew worse as he sensed her growing independence. He would lock her out of the apartment if she came home late from work and sometimes forced himself on her, disregarding her feelings entirely. Ada felt trapped and helpless, but she knew she had to keep pushing forward. At work, she found solace. Chief Williams noticed her dedication and started giving her more responsibilities. He also made sure to check on her well-being, sensing that something was wrong. One day, during her lunch break, Chief Williams found Ada crying. She was sitting alone in the office kitchen, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs. Concerned, Chief Williams approached her, his face etched with worry. "What's wrong, Ada?" he asked gently, pulling out a chair to sit beside her. Ada hesitated, wiping her tears with the back of her hand. She had kept her struggles to herself for so long, but the weight of her situation had become unbearable. Finally, she decided to open up to him. "It's Pius," Ada began, her voice trembling. "He's been very controlling and abusive. He accuses me of things I haven't done, and he's made my life so miserable." Chief Williams listened carefully, his expression serious. "Ada, you can't stay in such a situation," he said firmly. "You deserve to live in peace and safety." Ada looked at him, her eyes filled with gratitude and a hint of hope. "I don't know what to do. I've been saving money to move out, but it's taking so much time." Chief Williams nodded, understanding the urgency of her situation. "You know what? I have a guest house you can move into," he offered. "It's safe and comfortable. You can stay there until you find a place of your own." Grateful, Ada accepted his offer. The night before her planned move, Pius confronted her again, his face twisted with anger. "I know you're planning to leave," he spat. "You're nothing but a cheat and a liar." Ada stood her ground, her voice steady. "Pius, I am not a cheat. I deserve to live in peace." The next day, she packed her belongings and moved out of Pius's apartment. She dropped a letter, thanking Pius for how kind and how nice he had treated her when she first arrived the city. The guest house was a small cozy place located in the quiet neighborhood. It felt like a sanctuary to Ada, a place where she could finally breathe and start afresh. Chief Williams ensured that Ada settled in comfortably. He even arranged some groceries and basic necessities to be delivered to the guest house. Ada felt a sense of relief and security that she hadn't felt in a very long time. In the following days, Chief Williams checked in on her regularly. He wanted to make sure she was adjusting well to her new environment. As the days went by, they both grew closer. Chief Williams was always kind and respectful to Ada, qualities she deeply appreciated, especially after her experience with Pius. He would often surprise her with flowers and take her to nice restaurants. They spent many evenings walking along the beach, talking about their lives and their dreams. One evening, as they dined at the beautiful restaurant, Ada looked across the table at Chief Williams, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you so much for everything, Chief Williams," she said, her voice soft. "Call me Williams," he replied with a smile, "and you deserve all the good things, Ada." Chief Williams began to open more about his past. He told Ada about his divorce and how difficult it had been. "My ex-wife and I grew apart," he explained. "Our daughter lived overseas with her. It was a tough time, but I've learned to move forward, and so has she." Ada listened intently, her heart aching for him. "I'm sorry you had to go through that," she said, reaching out to touch his hand. "But I'm glad you found happiness again." Their relationship deepened with each passing day. William spoiled Ada with thoughtful gifts and attention. He bought her beautiful dresses, took her to the theater, and even planned surprise weekend getaways. Ada felt like she was living in a dream, a stark contrast to the hardships she had faced before. One weekend, Chief Williams took Ada to a luxurious resort. They spent the days lounging by the pool and exploring the nearby attractions. In the evenings, they dined under the stars, sharing stories and laughing together. Ada felt a sense of peace and joy she had never known before. "You've changed my life, Ada," Chief Williams said one night as they walked along the beach, the waves gently lapping at their feet. "I can't imagine my life without you." "You've changed my life too, Williams," Ada replied, her heart swelling with love. Their bond grew stronger, and Ada knew she had found someone who truly cared for her. She was grateful for the kindness and respect Chief Williams showered her, and she cherished every moment they spent together. News of Ada and Williams' relationship began to spread. It wasn't long before people started talking. In the office, whispers and curious glances followed Ada wherever she went. Some of her colleagues were supportive, while others were not so kind. One afternoon, Ada overheard the conversations between two of her co-workers. "Did you hear about Ada and Chief Williams?" One of them whispered. "She must be a gold digger, going after him for his money. I'm sure she must have used charm on him." Ada felt a pang of hurt, but chose to ignore the gossip. She knew the truth and didn't need to justify her relationship to anyone. She focused on her work and her happiness with Williams. Meanwhile, Pius heard about the rumor and wasn't surprised. He called Ada one evening, his voice dripping with disdain. "I knew it," he spat. "You're nothing but a whore, a gold digger. I was right about you all along." Ada's hand trembled as she held the phone, but she remained calm. "I'm not interested in your opinion, Pius," she said firmly. "I've moved on, and so should you." Despite the gossip and the accusations, she remained focused on her happiness. She continued to send money to her mother and sister in the village, improving their lives significantly. Her mother was able to renovate their home, and Chika could afford better school supplies and clothes. Knowing she was making a positive difference in their lives gave Ada a deep sense of satisfaction. She realized that there would always be people who judged her, but she chose to focus on the love and support she received from those who mattered. Despite the age difference and social expectations, Williams and Ada got married in a beautiful, intimate ceremony. Their wedding was held in a charming garden, surrounded by close friends and family. Ada's mother and sister traveled from the village to be part of her special day. Her mother's eyes were filled with pride as she watched her daughter walk down the aisle, and Chika couldn't stop smiling. Ada wore a simple yet elegant white dress, and Williams looked handsome in his tailored suit. They exchanged heartfelt glances, promising to love and support each other through all of life's ups and downs. "You may now kiss the bride," the officiant announced, and Williams gently lifted Ada's veil, kissing her softly. The guests erupted in applause, and Ada felt a rush of happiness within her. After the ceremony, they celebrated with a reception filled with music, dancing, and delicious food. Ada and Williams shared their first dance as a married couple, swaying to a romantic tune under the twinkling fairy lights. Ada couldn't stop smiling, feeling the love and joy that surrounded them. A few months after the wedding, Ada discovered she was pregnant. The news brought immense joy to both her and Williams. He was overjoyed and became even more attentive, making sure Ada was comfortable and well taken care of. "How are you feeling today?" Williams would ask every day, placing a hand on her growing belly. "I'm tired, but I'm happy," Ada replied, smiling at him. Chief Williams kissed her forehead. "You are doing great, my love." And as her pregnancy progressed, Chief Williams attended every doctor's appointment with her, holding her hands and listening carefully to the doctor's advice. He made sure she ate well, rested, and stayed relaxed. They spent evenings preparing the nursery, painting the walls, and assembling the crib. Chief Williams spoiled her with surprises, like her favorite snacks and books to read during her downtime. They often talked about their future, dreaming about the day they would hold their baby in their arms. "You are going to be an amazing mother," Chief Williams would say, his eyes filled with love. "And you will be an incredible father," Ada replied, feeling a sense of peace and contentment. The day finally arrived when Ada went into labor. Chief Williams rushed her to the hospital, staying by her side and offering words of encouragement. After several hours of labor, Ada gave birth to a healthy baby boy. The moment she heard her baby's first cry, tears of joy streamed down her face. Chief Williams was overjoyed, holding their son for the first time. "He is perfect," he whispered, his voice choked with emotions. Ada looked at her husband and their baby, feeling an overwhelming sense of gratitude. She had never felt so complete. "We did it," she said, smiling through her tears. They named their son Chinedu, which means God leads. Williams and Ada took turns in holding their newborns, marveling at his tiny fingers and toes. They spent their first night as a family in the hospital, with Williams sleeping on a chair beside Ada's bed, refusing to leave her side. When they brought baby Chinedu home, Williams continued to shower Ada with love and support. He took some time off work to help care for their baby, changing diapers and rocking him to sleep. Ada felt blessed to have such a dedicated and loving partner. And as the weeks went by, they settled into their new roles as parents. Ada's days were filled with the joy and challenges of caring for a newborn, while Chief Williams was always there to lend a hand, whether it was preparing meals or soothing their baby during late-night feedings. One afternoon, as Ada sat in the nursery watching her baby sleep, she reflected on her journey. She thought about the humble beginnings in the village, the struggles she faced, and the incredible love and support she found in Chief Williams. She knew she had found her place and her happiness. and she remained close to her family, continuing to send money and support to them. She often called her mother and Chika, sharing updates about her baby and her life in the city. Her mother traveled down to the city to help care for baby Chinedu, and she was excited to see her grandson for the first time and was so proud of Ada's strength and resilience. Ada's life had changed dramatically, but she never forgot her humble beginnings. The moral lesson of Ada's story is about resilience and self-worth. Despite facing challenges and adversity, Ada remained determined and hopeful, never giving up on her dreams. The story highlights the importance of treating others with kindness and respect, as shown through Chief William's support and contrast to Pius's abusive behavior. It teaches us to value healthy relationships and to stand up for ourselves, recognizing our own worth and refusing to settle for less than we deserve. Thanks for watching this captivating story on African Stories and Folktales. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more stories. Thank you.